Tell you what, you know what, I'm just going to...
Hello there, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Sorry we were running a little bit late. We just had a fantastic colour demonstration from Matt Hollingsworth, and running a little bit over, but we're here now. And welcome to Eyes Brighton. My name's Alessandro Vitti. I write and blog under the title An Englishman in San Diego. We'd love you to come a little bit closer if needs be, if you want to come a little bit closer so you can welcome in person and make a little bit of noise, please, for Alessandro Vitti, who's you are at the back as well, so we'll have the microphone as well. And, I don't know if you can hear me at the back. We've used microphones for the moment. So hello there, Alessandro. Welcome along. How's Brighton treated you? Has it been fun so far? I saw the picture this morning. You were enjoying the sun of Brighton.
Yeah, when I woke up today at the fiesta, picture I saw between.
Yeah.
Attraverso, through the window was this
Spectacular view. You see, that's a word you don't usually get from Brighton, but that's, you know, we'll stick with it. We'll go with it. Excellent stuff. The reason why I'm really excited about this chat with Alessandro is because I've been a fan of his work for some time. I've been a huge fan. But the one thing that I've noticed when it comes to interviews with you, it's mostly about an individual title, or it's about the title with the writer and yourself. It's never been about your process, and certainly with people may have felt that when you started, or when you came to Secret Warriors in 2009, it's almost like you kind of appeared fully formed, if you know what I mean. You came out of the blue. And I think a lot of people don't know about your history coming into comics and your influences, so that's why I'm excited about this. Okay, so we'll go all the way back. Italy, where were you born?
So I was born in the South Italy. Do you know Apulia? It's a really south, and but almost part of my life I decided to leave for a study reason. It's correct. I'm sorry for my English, please. In fact, I asked Valentina to help me for the translation because it's horrible my English is, and I say sorry for this.
Yes, but the accent is very sexy, so we have no problem with it.
So, for a study reason, I decided to live in North Italy, in particular first time in Florence, because my dream was to study the art in a beautiful city in Florence.
Oh, wow.
And but after, for other particular...
How old were you at this point? I mean, was this really young? Did you start with art really young, or was it something that you...
To draw? Or
well, drawing stuff?
Oh, to draw? Specific for the comics in my secret room. When I was young, 14, 15 years old, because before I didn't never read comics. I discovered the comics when my cousin bought an issue of Italian edition of Captain America and Avengers, and I so wow, where can I find this? And
so it was the American comics that you kind of latched onto first?
Yeah, the first comic between my hands was Captain American Avengers. But after I discovered the Italian comic book, and so I became hungry when agree to discover
Everything.
Yeah, everything. And I don't stop. I wasn't stopping to learn. To learn, in particular, to learn and to know, to understand the different kind of comics. To read and understand the kind of storytelling, the technique called storytelling.
Was there any particular artist that you drew on for that, to learn the skills of storytelling? Because I think a lot of people confuse really good art with the strong basis of telling stories in the comic art form. Was there any particular artist in particular?
Okay, when I was younger, or
well, when you were learning about, when you kind of embraced doing comics.
Okay, when I decided to become an artist, I focalized my attention on Travis Charest. Do you know Travis?
The name.
He was an assistant of Top Cow Image Studios. He worked. He started in the studio with Jim Lee, Travis, and Libermejo, and Wiles Portacio, and other artists. Grow up with Jim Lee, and after when Travis Charest worked on Wildcats, he changed the stuff, and he became another totally artist, more realistic, with more details. It was really impressive for me. And so Travis Charest became my
inspiration.
Yeah, okay. But after so with Travis, I take my way to go in this world.
Yeah.
After I knew the Argentinian school of artists. For example, Alberto Breccia, Zaffino, Ugo Pratt. Do you know Ugo Pratt? Is a famous Italian artist, but for a period he lived in South American with these artists, and Alex Todd. So all magister of black and white, you know, and with these artists I learned to play in a very sense of verb, play, because I was funny to draw, and I learned to work with black and white, with the light and the shadows, and I changed totally my stuff, but with a little attention, always with details and realistic.
Because I think with a lot of artists, it's very much a case of finding your own voice. But it's interesting to hear the names that you're using that drew you into your own path. I think that's interesting. Also, the fact that you went straight to comics, not necessarily through, say, fine art. It was comics that you kind of.
Oh no.
No.
I mixed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I stopped a moment. Do you understand my English?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I can get subtitles if that's okay.
The mic isn't working. The microphone isn't.
The microphone needs a little bit.
Oh.
No, it's not working.
Okay.
It's literally not working.
Is it not on? It isn't actually not on. We'd like to thank the technical guys from. Never mind.
Good. So
better. Yes. There we go.
I mixed.
Blame me.
No, I mixed the
styles.
The styles.
Yeah.
So from illustrations to for the art. For example, Egon Schiele. Do you know Egon Schiele? He is one of my favorite artists of story of art.
So what was the first piece of comic art where you felt that this was something that you were going to pursue as a career?
Do you know Alberto Ponticelli?
Yes.
So, I have the dark skin in this moment because I have a good memory of this moment because when I saw in a window store, comic store, a personal project of Alberto Ponticelli, I said I can do that because Alberto Ponticelli showed me another kind to do the comics because he has again a particular style is rough, is more expressive, like Egon Schiele, you know, more expressive, is more emotive stuff, is more dark, nervous, and in the comic book I always saw a clean, readable style, and so with Alberto, in fact, he's one of my dear friend, and when I met him for the first time, I say thank you because
For his influence.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to possibly skip on a little bit as well, not skip on it, I do want to talk very quickly about that period when you first got started and you first knew that comics were where you're going to go to up to Secret Wars. So let's see if we can kind of fill that little gap in. What comics were you doing before, which actually then attracted people's attention to get you onto this kind of book? What were the books that you were doing in Italy before Secret Wars?
I worked before Secret Wars.
Secret Warriors, sorry.
I worked for the French publisher and for Italian publisher Sergio Bonelli Editore. It's a big Italian publisher of comic book, and in fact to work in Marvel I proposed.
Well, that was going to be my next step. Was it a case of Marvel approaching you, seeing the work that you've done, or were you actively wanting to work for Marvel? Was that the end goal, or to work for the American comics?
Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Probably I'm logoroic.
It means when you talk a lot,
Okay.
you cannot stop.
It's a problem. So my first appointment encounter with the American world I had with DC, with a portfolio review in San Diego in 2005. I show the DC Comics didn't never do a portfolio review. In the 2005, he made this big mailbox where you put your portfolio inside, and in the secret they decided the selection of artists to be probably fast and don't lost time. And the Sunday after the show, after 4 days, on the big screen appeared the 10-person selection, and yeah, I was between these 10, and wow! In fact, for the emotive moment, I lost the phone, so I lost my friends. So
This is white light.
exactly, and I don't know what's happened, but my portfolio for DC finished between the Marvel's and editor, and they contacted me after 2 years and to work directly on Secret Warriors.
So, well, it's almost the dream come true. I mean, that's just incredible. So, when you were approached by Marvel for this project, had you met Jonathan Hickman at this point, or were you just, what was that meeting like? I mean, was that meeting of minds?
Jonathan, directly I met him after probably 5-6 issues during the New York Comic Con, but by email during the work I had immediately a good feedback, because we find a good
working relationship.
Because, for example, I like more to use the horizontal panel to have the same attitude like a widescreen of the theater. You know?
Well, yeah, Jonathan definitely writes in that cinematic style.
Exactly. And when I explain my idea, my solution for the storytelling, he was totally happy for that. And so, no, I have a good memory for this.
At this point, are you working digitally, or are you working pen to paper? Paint to paper, yeah. Do you work digitally at all?
I work with the digital only for the post-production, when I scan the pages to clean after the scan. Or now sometimes I use the digital for the layout, for the storyboards, but only for the sketch. But the big part of work I prefer to do on the paper. In fact, I have different steps. For example, for the pencils, I'm dirty. I'm really dirty. I don't like erase my pencils, and I search in my lines the perfect mix and composition of a line, and put my attention in a second moment with another kind of pencil, more sport, pencil, to make in evidence the line, and after with the light box on another paper,
really clean it up.
Yeah, I do the inks to have a clean.
Well, you say it's a clean image that you then aim for. But, I mean, even just looking at the work that you do, I mean, just the amount of the detail in terms of the kind of the form that you bring to it, and like you say, it's very cinematic, the work that you do. So obviously you had that work with Secret Warriors, and it was a really strong relationship with Marvel. What is that relationship like? I mean, because you do a lot of work for Marvel, but you have done obviously the large run with Red Lanterns, but you started with that Marvel relationship. What was it that kind of appealed to you to go with Marvel, or was it just get the work?
So, to explain the situation when now I come back in Marvel to work at Iceman, and
we're getting
there. the different editors sent me an email with this short sentence: "Welcome again in the family. Welcome back in family."
Wow.
With this sentence, I try to explain.
It's definitely a family feel that.
Yeah. So I have again a good relationship with DC2 editors, but probably with them I create a different feeling. I don't know the reason, the really reason, but it's
a strong bond. From there, it really kind of, your career just exploded, and it just.
Oh, top cow.
Indeed, that's where I'm headed. In fact, I could have sworn I actually had a couple of title pages, but there we are. No, obviously I don't think I'm here, but yes, with the Broken Trinity. Was this being done at the same time as you were doing Secret Warriors?
Yeah.
So the work was coming in?
Yeah, because I tried to explain that before during the convention. I don't like.
He doesn't like to be idle.
Okay. Needs to keep busy. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the stress.
Yeah.
I like to have the monkey on the shoulder. Come on, the deadline. And so yes, I like have a different stimulation, and when I received this request from Top Cow, I decided to accept, but I explained to Marvel this decision, and they were funny and correct with the answer. They told me, if you respect the deadline, you can do everything.
If you're good with us, we're good with you.
For the work, I explained to Shane. I told to Shane before. Sometimes the comic book is a product. Okay, it's not an art. Okay, it's a media. It's a work of a team, and you are not alone. For you can feel an artist, but you is a part of a team, and if you respect the single person and the single role of this machine, this industry, you can do really everything.
Yeah.
Because are you making a product? And it's a.
No, that makes sense. I mean, certainly with the run the runs that you had between, say, the 2009, 2014, you were very much doing short runs of very much story arcs, and you were keeping busy, and you were keeping the work coming in, and like you say, the Broken Trinity. But I think the longest run that you've done is with Red Lantern, that extended period of time on one story. What was it that drew you to the Red Lantern storyline? And because the artwork for me just went up a notch for Red Lantern. It was beautiful.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, wow, thank you.
I'm not trying to chat him up, by the way.
Are you asking me about
the extended time that you then put into this run? Because this, I mean, you did Red Lanterns for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So probably if the NBC didn't change idea about the life of the series, I should be a regular artist again.
Okay.
And Charles, the same for like Brighton.
Yeah. What was that relationship like? How was working with Charles?
With Charles?
Yeah.
Oh, probably was better than Hickman, Jonathan, because we had the opportunity to have yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One by one contact. In fact, I lived the experience to have a meeting in the DC Comics for the future of Red Lanterns.
Were you still living in Italy at this point?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I use the convention to fix the appointment and the meeting, and so for example with the Red Lanterns I created new characters, but after we didn't have the opportunity to show because in Charles Soule's mind the idea was to create a Sons of Anarchy. Do you know Sons of Anarchy TV series? Charles likes.
Oh, they're a ragtag bunch. Absolutely, the Red Lanterns, and it certainly also brought a new sense of, and I'll see if you get this in the right way, a new sense of violence. There was a real edge to Red Lanterns. For a commercial mainstream book, there's some real kind of, I mean, there's some section, no, it hasn't saved the image again, it's a shame. Because there was a couple of panels which,
Yeah, this is another.
which, quite frankly, there's a young gentleman in the audience, and for a mainstream comic book from DC, there's some real blood and guts in there, which...
And again, now is one of our favorite Red Lanterns group in US. Probably for this reason, because probably is the real vengeance vendetta. Because probably it's more human than Green Rings.
Yeah. There's more shades of black and white, even though it, so to speak.
It's human rage.
Yeah, indeed, absolutely. And like I say, I felt that that's the reason why I asked if you were working digitally, because there are some elements to Red Lanterns which just feel digital. I mean, there's this real energy, this real kind of electrical power in Red Lanterns, which just absolutely blew me away. But then you then took a real change of style and went to Suiciders.
Yes.
Was that a conscious decision to keep your art fresh, to change the style of what you were doing from something like Red Lanterns? Because it is a total tonal change. Oh, sorry, yes, of course it is. Let's think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think these are all Ben Maher or something. Okay, well, we'll talk about. So, yeah, what was that working relationship like? Because obviously, Bamero had been creating this world of Suiciders, and then to ask you to come on board. What was that like?
Lee watched during all this time in Italy. For a period, I was an owner of a published company of comics, And I create a personal series with a famous Italian novel, scrittore. And in this project, I was totally free with my stuff.
Okay.
And with this kind of stuff, okay, more fresh. It's strange, but I love the manga comics. Yeah, absolutely. But realistic manga, because there is a good market. For example, there is a MPD Psycho. It's a famous manga. There is a crazy artist. Great is the name. And in this my personal project, I work with fresh stuff. And Lee saw this book, and he found a matching, because I discovered to talk during a conversation with him the same passion. He is a manga reader too, and I in this when he saw this project, he decided immediately to ask me to work on Suicides. But questa cosa è accaduta. This happened 4 years ago. Okay, and his wife, with a low voice in her, Lee, will ask you to work with him. Okay.
So it's all down to his wife that
yeah,
the job happened.
And after Red Lanterns, I worked on a single issue on Batman, on Swamp Thing, and in this moment, in the moment, I tried understanding why I worked on a single issue, and after I understood that the Vertigo waited the script and DC to give me something to work. Mentre aspettavano la sceneggiatura, io stavo lavorando su. I'm sorry. Non capivo per quale motivo stavo lavorando dopo Lanterne Rosse su singoli numeri. La ragione era perché stavano aspettando la sceneggiatura per farmi lavorare su questo. Sì, è la stessa casa di
Okay, so he basically was working on single issues, but he didn't understand why. The reason is because DC knew that Vertigo would have had the script for him, and they were just waiting to have it done. So
They were just marking time. They were just, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I know that we're running a little bit out of time, and I do want to get some questions from everyone, so we'll cover a couple of topics. One that I want to cover is because, obviously, here in the UK, Doctor Who's a massive property. I want to know how on earth you were approached to do Doctor Who. Where did that come from? Are you a Doctor Who fan?
Because the owner of
Yeah, it's Titan, isn't it?
Nick
Yeah.
Van Damme.
Yeah.
the company is
IDW Titan. Yeah.
Titan Comics
Yeah.
is a big fan of my art, and every year in New York Comic Con ask me, do you like to work? Absolutely. And when there were the opportunity,
I think the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it's something that I find interesting about the Doctor Who comics, in that the artist has to render a real person. You know, in that kind of, you're drawing from an actual person in real life. Do you watch the show? Do you, or
No.
okay, I kind of suspected. So is it all lots of photos of the actors?
Yes,
Yeah.
in fact, I received 8 gigabyte of pictures of the location, the background of the artist, because it was important to respect the
likeness.
yeah. The same is now for Star Wars series.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have the rules to respect, yeah, it's important to.
Because I find that interesting that you then have to render somebody, or draw somebody that's from life. Okay, and I know that we are running a little bit out of time, so I think we'll just very quickly touch on the latest, your latest work, which came out this week, which is Iceman 1,
Yeah.
which is a very exciting book, but has also attracted a lot of attention. I think a little bit unfairly, because it always seems to be about the sexual orientation of the character instead of the evolution of the character. Things kind of get muddied or get confused. What has been your thoughts on Iceman as a character now you've been working on him?
Sì, sì, sì. Sì. Esatto.
Come ti senti a lavorare su questo personaggio? Cioè, ti interessa l'orientamento sessuale?
For me, it's indifferent.
Okay.
Because I don't like to have any point.
Preconception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? But I'm happy to work on for this reason, because yeah. So
I think
in my opinion, sorry.
No, go.
In my opinion, it's a secondary part of a story.
Mm.
Probably the Marvel focalized for the promotional on these sides of life of Bobby Drake, but if you continue to read the story, the story is half and half. There is the action, there is the problem with the mutant sides of the character,
Okay.
because in this series he will show the potential of his power, his mutant power, and in the same time, yes, he leaves this problem with to understand if which is the really attitude, sexual attitude. But for me, it's totally indifferent, because it's
I find it strange that we still talk about this in 2017 as an issue, when it should be, instead of it being the focus of something, it should be something that sits in the character of somebody.
So probably to start to talk about this them, it was important to have a series. Like for example, Miss Marvel, when the Marvel company decided to use a Muslim girl.
Yeah.
So we live in a globalization. Probably it's the moment to be easy with every situation, like a sexual, like races. So why we must continue to talk with the different.
I totally agree. I think you're a really good fit for Iceman, because your work up to now has been very much a case of, when you look at your panels, it's almost like they are a frozen moment in time. It almost caught in amber, if you can understand that. Which makes an ideal fit for the character of Iceman. I think it's just an amazing fit and a great choice. And I really do hope all the success for the book. I really do. I know that we're running a couple of minutes. We've only got about 3 or 4, and I'd love to get some questions just to wrap things up. Does anyone have any questions for Alessandro? Anyone at all? Oh.
Is there a character you're looking to draw beyond Iceman?
Yes, why not? Yes, absolutely. For example, the number 4 of this series, there will be Daken, Iceman next Daken, but I can't draw this issue for the deadline, and so Daken is one of my other favorite characters.
You've drawn Daken before. Is it going to be a similar styling, or are you doing something new with?
No, it's another
new
style. Yeah, because now I grow up with my stuff. In particular, after Suicides, I became another
artist.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
What do you think the differences are between the European comic market and the American comic market?
Oh,
it's a big question.
Do you believe me if I say you that the difference is only in the size of template of
the size of the panels, or the size of the paper?
The paper.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for him to say the size of the money. Then I was waiting for that. That's what I was waiting for.
No. For example, in French, the comics, there are different. For example, in French, they wanna more details because in French publish usually 1 or 2 books each year of a series, and in your idea, their idea, the details give the opportunity for the reader to stay more time on the pages. And in Italy, they prefer give more important for the text, okay, for the dialogue. And in fact, there are more headshot panels. But for my stuff, I didn't